Okay, so today we're going to be looking at lesson 8-3, which is how to evaluate expressions. So what does that mean, evaluating expressions? So it's pretty much what we were doing yesterday. We're following the order of operations. So I'm going to pull up my document camera here, and we're going to go ahead and let me zoom in. And you're going to see when you're evaluating expressions, what happens when there's more than one set of parentheses? And this is something you might see, especially next year in 6th grade. But what happens when I have two sets of parentheses? And so you always want to work from the inside to the outside. So in this example here, you're going to do 9 times 0.4 and 3 times 8. You're going to get those answers first. Then you're going to go to the outside brackets and do those two. And then you're going to keep going, and it goes through the steps here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do some here for you. I'm going to be working on the odds, and then for your assignment today, you'll be doing the evens. So let's start off with our first problem. And here it is. We've got 4.8 divided by 2 times 5. And we have one set of parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and do 4.8 divided by 2 first. And again, you can use a calculator on this assignment. So I'm going to get my calculator out. And I'm going to go ahead and start. So I have 4.8 divided by 2. And I get 2.4. So now I have 2.4 times 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply 2.4 times 5 because I did my parentheses. Now I'm multiplying by 5. And I'm going to go times 5, and I get 12. So this expression here is equal to 12. Let's do the next one. Now this one, we see two sets of brackets. And again, I'm going to start with my inside parentheses. So I have 6.2 times 8.4. Again, I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator. And I'm going to do that problem first. I have 6.2 times 8.4. Again, when you're using a calculator, make sure you clear in between. And I'm going to go 6, and there's my 0.2 times 8.4. And it equals 52.08. So I've got 52.08, and then I have subtract 9.28. Again, there's no other operation, so that's my next step. Go ahead and do 52.08, take away 9.28. So I already have that on my calculator. I can keep going. I'm going to subtract 9.28, and I get 42.8. Now, the reason why, again, I'm letting you use the calculator here is that I want you to practice with the operations and not be bogged down by this double-digit multiplication. Okay, so our next one. Now, this one, we're going to get a few more steps. So I'm happy to see this one has some more steps here. So again, we're going to work from our inside to the outside. Our inside brackets, we're going to do those first. I have 6 times 2.3. So I'm going to do that first. And again, I'm going to use my calculator, 6 times 2.3, and I get 13.8. So now I'm going to rewrite the whole equation out so that I just have that part left, right? So I've got 6 times, and then I have in brackets still 13.8 plus 3.9. Now, it's important that I left those brackets there because I need to do what's inside the brackets before I multiply, because the brackets are like parentheses. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do 13.8 plus 3.9, and you probably could do that without a calculator, but we'll do it right now. And I get 17.7. So now I have 6 times 17.7, and then my last step is going to be to multiply those two, and I multiply that times 6, because again, I could go ahead and times 6 because order of multiplication doesn't matter. And my answer is 106.2. And I get 106.2. And I'm going to put that here. Okay. Up next, we've got number 7. And I'm going to scoop my paper. I need to fold my paper up so you can see the problem. So I'm going to do that while we're waiting. Okay. So my next problem, again, I see multiple brackets. So I have 9.6 plus, and then in parentheses, I've got two sets of brackets here. I'm going to do my inside ones first. So my first problem here is going to be to do 3.1 times 2, because that's the innermost parentheses. So I'm going to do 3.1 times 2, and I get 6.2. So now I'm going to rewrite the rest of it. 9.6 plus, and then again in brackets, 6.2, take away 2.3, and then end bracket plus 16. So I've got two plus signs, but so what am I going to do first? I'm going to go ahead and do what's inside the brackets or braces. These are actually called braces first. So I'm going to do those next. So I can leave 9.6, and I'm going to go ahead and do my subtraction there. So I've got 6.2, take away 2.3, and I get 3.9 plus 16. Now, because I have two addition signs, and really, order doesn't matter in addition, but we'll just go ahead and do it in order. So let's add these two together, and then we'll add those to 16. So I have 3.9 plus 9.6, and I get 13.5, and then 13.5 plus 16 equals 29.5. And I put that on my answer sheet. Okay, so now we have our last problem here, and it says, how would I use estimation? So basically, estimation means we don't have to use our calculator because we're trying to make it so we can do it in our head. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the problem leaving all the braces, but estimating. So I've got 10, I'm going to take off the decimal times, and then I've got a bracket in parentheses, 2 times 3.7 is closer to 4, so I'm going to leave that as a 4 plus 8. So now I'm going to do my parentheses first, because again, I'm going from inside to outside. So I'm going to leave 10 times, I'm going to leave my brace, and I'm going to put 8 plus 8. And now I'm going to do these first, because again, order of operations says that I'll do the brackets or parentheses first. 10 times 16, and then I'm left with my multiplication problem, and 10 times 16, I know I just need to add a 0, and I get 160. Okay, so that's how we do evaluating expressions today. Again, you're working from the inside parentheses to the outside. You have 4 problems to try. Again, use your calculator and do your best. And I only see, like right here, I do see, we've got multiply. If you have 2 different signs, again, in this one, what are you going to do first? You're going to multiply first, because that's the order of operations if you have 2 signs within a bracket. So good to notice that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Everything else, again, you're just working from inside to outside. Okay, so go ahead and get started on that, and I'll see you tomorrow.